Hey gamers, I'm here to talk about Rocket League. Uh, no matter how long you've been playing it or what rank you've hit, there's always something about it that pulls us back in. There's a unique magic to the grind in Rocket League. A lot of us come back to it every day for that feeling of improvement, that one shot that lands perfectly, or that unexpected save. But the longer we play, the more that grind starts to feel like it's too much, like we're stuck in place. So, how do we keep loving the game? And how do we actually keep finding joy in the grind? Today, I want to share some thoughts on how I approach it and how we can all get the most out of the journey. First off, let's talk about perspective. It's so easy to get caught up in rank or in our own skill level, constantly comparing where we are to where we think we should be. We can get obsessed with hitting that next tier, that next rank, and the game can start to feel like a chore. But for me, the grind is about much more than just that final rank. Sure, we all want to improve, but that improvement doesn't always happen the way we think. It's about those small wins we pick up along the way. Getting better at reading opponents, learning to control the ball just a bit more smoothly, or even just having the patience to make better decisions in high pressure moments. Each time I step into a match, I remind myself that every single game is a chance to sharpen something, to add a new skill, or to learn something small that'll make me better. And yes, it can feel slow sometimes. You might be working on the same skill for weeks and only seeing slight improvement, but that's part of the process. Every big leap forward is built on a lot of small steps, and each of those small steps matters. Even if I don't rank up this season or next season, I know that every match I play, I'm getting a little closer to where I want to be. It's all about keeping the bigger picture in mind. Now, let's get into the actual training. One of the biggest things that can make Rocket League feel more enjoyable is setting small, specific goals for each session. If you go into training with the mindset of, today I'm going to become an all-star player, it's easy to get discouraged. But instead, I like to focus on bite-sized improvements. For example, maybe today my goal is to stop ramping the ball right back to my opponents and work on keeping control. Or maybe I want to work on lateral dribbles, making sure I'm not just pushing the ball straight ahead, but really learning how to move it side to side. Training doesn't have to be this rigid, exo- Training doesn't have to be this rigid, exhausting process. It should be something that you can enjoy. When I work on one specific thing, I know that I'm making real progress, even if it's just in small ways. Those small wins keep it fun. They're reminders that I'm getting better, and that improvement can be measured in ways other than just rank. And honestly, that brings me to another big point: creativity. Rocket League is a game that rewards creativity as much as it does consistency. Some of my favorite moments aren't the most perfect plays, but the times I tried something new, even if it was a total flop. Like when I'm practicing pinches off the wall, or just experimenting with new ways to get the ball where I want it. Sometimes I pull it off, sometimes I don't. But every time I try something new, I'm adding another tool to my kit. When you're stuck in that feeling of repetition or frustration, try mixing things up. Go for an off the wall flick, try to land a ground pinch, or practice aerials in a new way. These moments might not always lead to a perfect play, but they'll keep you engaged and they'll keep the game feeling fresh. And when you do land that new move, when you finally get that wall pinch right, it's a reminder that every bit of effort is worth it. Creativity keeps the grind from feeling like a grind. It makes it an adventure. Another huge thing for me has been finding ways to enjoy the game that aren't just about winning or losing. There's so much pressure in competitive matches that it's easy to get tunnel vision, to feel like every single game is a make or break moment. But Some of my best times in Rocket League have been when I step into casual matches or play scrims with friends. Sometimes I'll even set up a 2v3 lobby with teammates who might be lower ranked just to see what happens. It's a totally different vibe. It's about having fun, experimenting, and trying out strategies without that intense pressure of ranked games. These sessions remind me of the core of why I play Rocket League, because it's fun. When you let go of the need to win every match, you open up a whole new side of the game where you're free to try anything. And honestly, those relaxed moments are usually where I discover new skills or try new strategies that I eventually bring into competitive play. It's a reminder that it's okay to take a step back, to enjoy the game without any stakes attached. And then there are tough moments, the close games, the ones that could go either way, or the times when I make a mistake that costs the match. Losing can be tough, especially when you're putting out so much effort into improving. But the way I see it, every loss is a lesson. Every time I got outplayed or miss a shot, it's a chance to figure out why. It's not about beating myself up. It's about getting honest feedback and realizing what I can do better next time. If we let ourselves get discouraged by every loss, the game becomes something to dread, not something to enjoy. But if we approach each loss as a chance to grow, we're adding fuel to that journey. Some of the best improvements I've made in my game have come from those tough losses. They're not setbacks, they're just another part of the grind. I know that each game, each mistake is bringing me closer to where I want to be, even if it doesn't feel like it at the time. In the end, that's all it's about, the journey. Rocket League is a game where you never stop improving. There's always something new to learn, a new skill to pick up, or a new rank to reach. But the joy comes from embracing every part of that process. The wins, the losses, the frustrating moments, and the surprising victories. It's about knowing that every single game is part of something bigger, part of the journey to becoming the best player you can be. So whether you're grinding ranks, working on a new move, or just hanging out in casual with friends, remember to enjoy the ride. Rocket League doesn't have to feel like a chore if you let yourself love the process. Embrace the grind, and you'll find that every game becomes a new opportunity. Thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you guys on the field.